Hello, we're here at Shoe Healer in Doncaster and we've got these beautiful Churchs Grafton in. Fabulous shoe from Churchs. It's a custom grade shoe, obviously fully leather lined, but anyway, not that any of that matters. Look at the state of these. Look at that there, look. So we've worn through the leather sole, through the leather midsole, through the cork, which wouldn't take more than 10 steps to get through the cork, and then onto the insole. Luckily the gentleman hasn't gone through the insole, so we will give these a full repair. They are the Grafton. They are in the high shine bookbinder side leather, whatever you call it. It's got like a high shine finish. Well, I say it's got, it would have if they'd seen much polish. So this is the high shine polish, and you can see where the surface of the leather has worn off. This chap has obviously been sat somewhere where that's been rubbing and it's taken the surface off, but the shoes are in great condition. They've had no love at all, they've been worn to death, but they are in great condition because they've not been anywhere for a repair. So all the welts are in perfect nick. We can sort these out. The gentleman's not quite, he's got into the welt a little bit there, but it's nothing that we can't sort out. But the shoes haven't had a repair before, so they are coming to us fresh, as you would say, but at such a tough life they've had. What a journey these will have been on. You can see inside there where there's some dried blood, where this shoe was catching the gentleman. I spoke to him about that. I said, I can see they give you some pain. He said they did, they rubbed like hell, but now they are beautiful, they're comfortable. He's a lovely gentleman. He said he was so sorry to see that he'd worn them to such a state. To replace a pair of these Graftons now, I would think you would be close to £1,000, and we will get these sorted for him. The repair on here will be round about 120, 30 pounds, something like that. A little bit of that will be because they've been worn excessively, but they will come back fabulous. The first part of the repair we will do is to strip the shoe down. So we will knock off this heel stack. We will grind the top of the stitches out and peel this sole back, peel the midsole back, take out the cork and the shank, and replace all that on this shoe. And it really is, for me as a repairer, this sort of shoe to repair is lovely. It really is. There's nothing much better than working on a pair of Churchs shoes. It's just great. It definitely is the Rolls Royce of footwear. And it just makes a nice repair. And the fact that they've not been to another repairers, that they've not stitched over the old stitching, they'll be fabulous. Lovely pair of shoes to work on. This is what we want. I can't bleed and help myself. I've got to come round here and have a play with these Churchs. I can't. I should just leave them for Paul. It's his job to sort these out, but they're just so nice. They're just so nice. Look at this heel coming off. You saw this in the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, scroll down and you'll see in the last video that we took a bit of time doing a repair, and I'm not going to do that video again. I'm just going to have a little bit of a play with these. This is the heel stack coming off, and sometimes you can get these off in one on a lesser shoe, but on these Churchs they'll take some coming out. But it's great fun, great fun. I'm having to really work at this to get this to come apart. You don't just get one of these Churchs falling apart. You have to rip them apart, you have to work at it. They're just put together so well. Come on, get under there, under the lift. These are all called lifts on the heel stack, all made up of lifts. And that's the last one there, look. And then we will just take the sole off, and this is how we do it. just like that. In the last video, I said that, you know, when my dad was doing this job, he would get his knife now, stick it in there between the sole and the midsole and just run the knife round it, cutting all the stitches. And as I was saying that in the last video, I was thinking, well, why don't we do that now? The reason we don't do that now is because there's half a chance if we leave the stitches in and we just take the top off them and we pull them out, when we pull the top thread all the way around, it takes the stitch completely out of the welt. So that's what we're trying to do. We can't go through there cutting the stitches anymore. Top sole fully off. Came off in 2 pieces because that was just those little bits holding it there on the shoe. We've got the same now with the midsole. Oh. There'll be some people watching this, they want to come and have a go at doing it. They want to come and bother Paul. Paul's hovering in the background there. What are you after, Paul? Are you telling me that I should be removing the top stitches? Yep. Okay, well, I'll stop there then. So I've worked this off, and look at all that cork in there that's dried up. Metal shank in there that I wasn't too keen on, but Paul tells me you never see a Churchs with a broken shank. So, you know, Paul knows right. This is the stitching that's left in the welt. So we get the brad awl and then we just start picking these out, the stitches, and sometimes, if we're lucky, oh, I'm not being lucky there, look. Let's have a look.
All right.
You can pull one stitch and get one stitch. What I was going to show you there was going all the way around and all the stitching coming out in one, but I think that's something Paulie can do. It's a bit of witchcraft. So anyway, that's the shoe. That's the shoe. Stripped off. The other one will get stripped off. All the welt cleared out, and they will be ready then for recorking, the shank going back in, the new midsole, top sole, and the rebuild, as you've seen in the other video. But I just couldn't help on this pair of Churchs Grafton coming and having a play with them. And oh, they're lovely to take apart. They're just fabulous. Look, this is the rib here where it's all stitched. Can you see the it's like a canvas material there forming the rib. This is a rib just in there. Look, that's a rib. See if we can just pull the rib down, separate it. So that's the rib there, and then that there is the lining inside. That is the outer leather, and then the welt, and the stitching goes through, and you can't even see the stitching on there, but in there is the stitching in a little groove, and that stitching goes through to here, this stitching here. Okay, so what we don't do is we do not machine the top of the welt. Just give it a little bit of a brush and it will come up beautiful and you won't catch them. Just spin round, Abigail, and look at some shoes over there that are being ready. That's it, look. All different manufacturers, but all them being made in the same way, Goodyear welted. That's the way, that's the business. Here are the shoes. All done. We've stitched the oak bark sole on, the combination heel, and then the gentleman has decided to have the cover sole. So the repair has been done to this level, and then at this point we've put a cover sole over there like that, a cover sole to protect it, just to give the gentleman a little bit more hard wearing on his shoe. He could have had a sole on like this from new, but who wants to get a brand new shoe with a beautiful leather sole and put a cover sole on? Nobody does. But you should wear that shoe for a couple of weeks and then have a hard wearing cover sole on. It protects the leather, gives you a bit of grip, and it looks after the chassis of the shoe, keeping the shoe all together. Anyway, here are the Churchs Grafton, all beautifully back together. Just look at the stitch in there, all back in the same holes. That can be done time and time again. When Paul's trimmed these, he's just super carefully trimmed the edges of the sole so he doesn't take too much off, so that we can have repair after time and time and time again. So that's the Churchs Grafton, all finished, all done, absolutely beautiful. Now there's one thing on here that I like to do, that I like to see, and I like to see a little bit of riveting on the heel. Paul, you don't do it. Why don't you rivet the heel?
Too time consuming.
Too time consuming. Is any other reason? You know, does it not hold the heel together nicely? Does it not hold this? No?
3 coats of glue on there. If that don't hold it, nothing's going to.
Yep, 3 coats of glue. I hope you can hear him. If that doesn't hold it, nothing's going to hold it, he says. But anyway, so Paul is not really in favour of riveting the heels. It's just to make it look nice, and after a while you've walked on it, what does it care anyway? So the riveting of the heels, Paul doesn't do it. If you really want it doing, he requests that if you send your shoes in for repair, and I will do it. Just one other thing while we're on, people keep asking about this, Scottish notes. We don't accept Scottish notes. I do on that side of the shop. I'll take brass buttons. I'll take my money any way I can. But Paul on the repair side doesn't take Scottish pound notes. Apparently in this area there's lots of dodgy Scottish pound notes, and his bank where he banks won't take them either. So people keep getting upset about that. They're not going to do business with us because we don't take Scottish pound notes, and I've got a Union Jack on my smock. I can't help it. I will take your money. I'll take any way I can get it, but Paul won't take £20 notes on this side.